sorry, the take the recording stopped. But basically, that's all that's happening now is truth is being revealed, and like I said, and there's those they're still calling for my life in the most horrible way. You know, and then they say, well, they'll jump all across the place. It's like a needle on an equalizer. It's just bouncing here, there. It's not a, nothing like that. It's just, all day long. They're, they want me dead for going to the bathroom, using the restroom one day, 1 minute. And then, like I said, they'll start this, I don't know how else to explain it, but they'll start this process of everything I do. Don't touch that pen. If you touch that pen, you're dead. You better go lay down. If you don't go lay down, you're dead. You better not fall asleep. If you fall asleep, you're going to have a heart attack in your sleep. You better not watch this movie, because if you do, you're dead. It's just like, they'll do this for sometimes minutes, sometimes hours, sometimes, maybe hours. It seems like hours. I don't know. But it's a continual, it's a mind, just something of the mind. And then they'll literally come back and say, well, we have to, because you're so tethered and tied into the system that if we don't do it, we're modifying you internally. And if we don't modify your emotions and all this stuff, that you'll die, if we just abandon. I don't believe that. If it is, that says much about, what else, everyone else is on. To include children, women, children, elderly, sick and dying, this and that. They're going to do whatever they can, to maintain, some semblance of this control. Why? Because they want it. They want that. That's what protects them now. Is holding on to the system, so that if anybody calls on them, they can reverse it and just say no. That's the one thing that they're afraid of now. Is having, not being able to access the system or process and take out anybody that threatens them, which I'm not going to comment on. And that's why I call for everybody like me, that isn't part of the system, or even the ones that are part of the system. I'm hopeful. This is not a command or a demand, or in no way am I asserting any authority here. But I would hope that people would see that this is harmful. And like I said, it is a selection process, and people are dying. But I would hope that some, would do, if possible, do the right thing and take a step back and not be a part of it. And some, I'm sure, have. And like I said, and that's that will be spoken for, unto themselves, at some point. And but there are some that are withholding, and I believe it's for that reason alone, because they're never going to be in that situation. They'll take it to the very end, and kill or threaten as many people as they have to in order to maintain control and things like that. And like I said, and then they'll call in the lives of anybody that speaks any differently, much like myself. But like I said, who I've come myself, who I've come to know myself as is, like I said, inspirited by angels. A power that that they do acknowledge in certain ways. Some, many. I'm sure not all, but in the higher, in the higher echelons of this. Whatever the system or process is, I don't know what that is. I'm not privy to it. I'm not a party into as far as any sort of decision making or anything like that. The only thing that I know is my mind is surveilled 24/7, and they've attributed that to some sort of position, or almost like the Pope, being the closest link to basically to God or something like that. They've literally like forced on me some sort of responsibility of unto everyone, and that was simply because of things that I've said, unto myself as well. I do take a responsibility unto myself, but that's mostly just being, a decent human being, not harming anyone, not involving others in, in my journey to, because I got a lot going on, and for many other reasons, unto I can think of, a bunch. Like I said, I don't have enough of me emotionally to commit to another person. I just, with all that I got going on, I'm not, I'm distracted a lot of the times. I'm always, reading books, looking up information, writing. It's not fair, amongst other things, like I said. And they'll assert all types of different things, against me, for me. It's all circumstantial, and it's so it's so scattered all, this way and that, they lose the, semblance of truth or reality with this whole thing. And that's because that's exactly what it is, they know something, from a certain point, and they've held on to that, and that's what they use to justify everything that they do. Allegations. They've had certain things that have some semblance of truth, certain things that do not at all, and they've gone in some ways they've given up their holding of truth and allowed that to just get away from it, and then they've turned it into something completely different, something that resembles it, but then it creeps into the of mind, then they govern of mind, and they say, well, you've done this, of mind, X amount of times, and like, if I drive by and I see McDonald's, say, if they told me not to, if let's say in this world, if eating a hamburger was against the law, let's say, and Wiener Schnitzel, say, they sell hot dogs, they're selling hamburgers out the back door, right? whoever shows up to Wiener Schnitzel is suspect as possibly buying hamburgers out the back door, because we're not allowed to eat hamburgers. If you were seen in Wiener Schnitzel, possibly, if they didn't like you, they would just say, well, you're dead because you're a Wiener Schnitzel. Because people go there to buy hamburgers, so they will, like I said, they will attribute that as this guy's a hamburger eater. He will be for the rest of his days, because we saw him at Wiener Schnitzel, and that's it. He was carrying a bag, and it looked like it had hamburgers in it, not hot dogs. We did all this analysis, and a hamburger only sits this way, not this way, this kind of stuff. We know for a fact that there's hamburgers in there, and no, there wasn't. It was hot dogs. And they'll just sit there and, nope, look at, and they'll, all this, we know exactly what's going on. We know what was in there. We can damn near see inside that bag. We can see through the bag. And they'll be like, we can see through the bag. Are you going to lie? Are you going to lie? You can tell us the fucking truth, Or we're going to fucking saw your head off. We got all these pictures in X-ray vision, and we're going to bring it out. You better fucking say what's in that bag. It's hamburgers. You know it. No, it's hot dogs. You know what I mean? And, no. But they're hell-bent on the hamburgers, even though half the time they're telling you, man, imagine that hamburger, with all that. Imagine the hamburger with the Thousand Island on it, shredded lettuce and all those, little onions and the two patties and, the bun in the middle. God damn, you're over here like, I'm not saying that in light of what they're saying because what theirs is disgusting, but that's all I'm gonna say. You know what I mean? Like, it's not. I'm using the hamburger analogy to stay away from, from my own mind and but some of the things I've heard. I'd rather not. Regardless, even if I did eat a hamburger at some point, like I said, shouldn't give these people the right to try and shove a hamburger down your throat. You know what I mean? That's all I'm gonna say. I've heard some of the most sadistic and disgusting and demeaning, demoralizing, perverted, just some of the most, I hope nobody has to hear, some of the stuff that I've heard. And the only thing that I will say is that many people, unbeknownst to themselves, are hearing things that they shouldn't, and there are certain things that are going on that shouldn't, and it's for a reason, because many people, I believe, it's my belief that many of us are identified and have been for quite a long time, and we are led in certain ways to be blinded or of certain facts about ourselves. Basically, from what I believe, I've been in battle since birth. Just like they attribute to Elijah, they say that he was born an angel. Elijah is literally my namesake, my last name, Elias. Elijah, they say the mortal man that was, the prophet, or that, Elijah the prophet. They say that he was, some will attribute that he was born an angel, born basically sent, basically. I believe the same about myself. Like I said, because I've been in battle since birth, and that's part of the divine process. I think is there's a way to there will be a way to understand and to show that certain things are just the way they are, and it makes sense that way. And I think, like I said, I believe I was much the same, and I believe I was identified by this processor system longer than they may allow. That's neither here nor there. Like I said, because I make no exception to anything, because it doesn't seem that way. Even though you're led, even now I'm led in many ways, because they try to distract and they try to get me to not continue my studies, my work, things like that. But it doesn't register to me as being led, even though I probably am in many ways. So I make no exception, no excuse. Excuse me. I just do whatever I can to not do some things that I've done. Like I said, I've been in prison. I'm a 2-time convicted felon. I can't vote. I made and cleared parole, but I can't vote. I can't own a weapon. And like I've always said, people like me, we have to survive in many ways. If I can't vote, then I have to find it. If I have something that needs to be heard, I have to find a different way to make my voice heard. If I can't have a weapon to defend myself, I have to defend myself by any means possible. I take a step back there because those that know me know. you're always going to find that way to protect yourself and to get by or survive. That's all that matters. Like I said, everything about me, it's you can it's all it's literally yeah. So like I said, it's just the way it is. Sometimes there's very little things in life, and but it's like navigating, you have to find another way to navigate, because you're walking blind. Other people are they may be brought early on into awareness. Awareness has a different ring to people like me. We're made aware that basically we're told and we're made aware that we're not wanted. Many of us aren't. If you struggle in life and you feel that you're out of place and not wanted, that's because they're in your head and they're telling you that. If you're struggling and you're having a hard time finding your way through life, that's because it's being made that way. There's the world is split in many ways, and it's kind of you were just given the odd number, this one out, this one out, this one out, and that's basically, I think, how it was handed down. Some individuals, male, female alike, more so females, are given the, or males, some males got the, even number, some got the odd number, some are a little roughneck, some are not. I definitely got the odd number, I could say that. Because life to me is that's all I understand is chaos and kind of like a struggle. Like I said, and it's literally made to I think ease the system and to kind of divide it. Certain whoever has a certain disposition or whatever you want to call it are kind of strapped with certain struggles. Others are not. So it's just kind of and they divide it up into well, you're going to struggle with say intelligence, knowledge. You're going to struggle with with issues with the other gender. You're going to have it's people like me. I've had to kind of, I'm doing the same that they're doing, but in reverse. I'm very aware, so I calibrate myself, and it's still a struggle. So that tells me that there's something very against me. Something very telling, showing, or at least to my understanding, that's working against me, and it's a very pointed system. Because like I said, I have a lot of issues, and even it's not issues anymore, but like with females, things like that. I don't think I'm not like the best looking guy in the world, but I'm not the worst. I'm not saying that there is the worst. I don't have confidence issues, but yet if I try to if I try to involve myself in a relationship, it goes south real quick for whatever reason. And a lot of it is distraction, as far as attention, things like that. Certain women will hold my attention, others don't so much, and it's a system, like I said, and it's like shuffling the cards, and they have us all, we're all pinned to a certain parameter and a certain, and they keep us apart, things like that. And then like people like me, once they identify, they do this on purpose, so that way, once we get identified, then we're real easy to manage. Then they can like start working all the other angles, and then just boom, like it's like oil on water. the whole world is going to separate from people like me, and they do this on purpose, and they literally tell me that in my head. We don't care what you say, you're fucked. Nobody's gonna believe you. Nobody's gonna like you. You're always gonna struggle. Your family's gonna die, and you're gonna be the cause. And then on other angles, it seems very political that they're using angling me towards initiating something. And like I say, and then it starts to show how they're angling me to rise, to have my voice heard, and like I said, they're pushing this whole thing the whole way because it's very pointed. They're talking about my children, killing my family. They literally all day long they tell people in my family that they're ugly. They tell I can hear them saying things to my children. All I hear is people suffering in my head. I can hear people literally crying, pleading for help, pleading for just a few moments of peace. And if it's anything like what I go through, it's brutal. They're in your head 24/7, and they just rain it down on you. But like I said, and then in the end, all they say is you're all dead anyway. Everyone. They say that it's my fault because I wouldn't kill myself. I said that I had a responsibility to kill myself because of who I know myself to be, and like Christ who went before me, how he died on the cross and gave his life. I was supposed to kill myself, and they said if it wasn't me, then my children, I don't want to, because if he's listening, or if anyone's listening, and they say that they're taking my place. That's literally what they say. If you don't kill yourself, people are going to take your place, and they're going to die, and they're going to be tortured, and they'll sit there and they will make no apology for that, and they'll just say, well, there he is right there. That's the Lord your God, which is ignorant in and of itself as well. Because what about people that don't believe in Christianity? What about people that don't believe in God at all? I speak for them as well, because I protect the rights of people that don't believe. It doesn't bother me, if they're going to assert that I'm God, himself. If there's people out there that don't believe, I could care less. And that's not, it doesn't hurt my feelings. I mean, that's it. It doesn't bother me. That is everyone's right not to believe. You can believe in whatever you want. I've always subscribed to that. I've been an atheist. I was a very hardcore atheist. So that's why I understand. I've been to other countries where they have a belief system that is different. I've been to Southeast Asian countries. I've been to Japan. I've been to Korea. I've been, like I said, and their beliefs are different than ours. And I respect that, entirely. And those people are very decent, good-natured people. They treated me well. Their culture, culture is awesome. They're very in tune with themselves, with each other, with culture, like with everything around them. Like I said, I make no exception for, why would I do that? But then these people are going to assert that, they're going to try to call this to a religious issue, and then say that I'm responsible for the lives of everyone, unless they're doing almost like Project Bluebeam, and they're what they're going to do is kind of kill people off by religion, as we show ourselves or something, so possibly the religion, the Christians are up now. Christians got to go now. Because everybody that's left are non-Christians, non-believers, things like that, and they're all going to celebrate. And then everybody's going to be like, oh, well, screw it. Those Christians are gone. Okay, so who's next? What's next? Stuff like that. I think they're just taking, piece by piece by piece, and they're trying to appease everybody. They're going to try to, everybody's just jockeying for some time. That's basically all it comes down to, because in the end, that's it. And they're trying to make a big to do about something, something that comes out to be real, maybe a little too real. Now they take off on that. But like I said, what's next? Who's next? When does it stop? It's death. It's a systematic death machine. We saw it. World War II. It's somebody sitting there with a swagger stick. You're done. You're done. You're done. And it's all starting to fall apart because, like I said, something that's real actually shows itself, undeniably, at least for most. They can see it for what it is. Even people that don't believe, at least, because, like I said, the words that I speak in the what I seek is peace and good nature. Is through peace and good nature. It's with pure heart. I don't mean to say I speak for everybody, because I don't represent the beliefs of everyone. That's what I should say. But of course, I don't claim to represent everyone. The only thing that I do claim, or that I do represent, is at least peace for myself and good nature. And I start with myself, my family, and anyone of that nature, that can't speak for themselves, that are held under a system like this, or that are unaware of a system like this. All I'm doing is trying to basically make almost like a reservation for those that are unaware, and I'm trying to hold everybody off and say, hey, we should at least think about, hopefully we can think about, those that are unaware, those that don't know that this is coming, or something like that, those that are going about their lives that have no idea, trying to be a voice of at least an inclusive voice, to hopefully include those people that are unaware. And it's not a religious issue, I'm not, it's not where, God's speaking for you, and that means that, you're aligned with Him, because that's where it's, to me, that's where it's going to go, or it has already. But I don't make, any of those claims. I'm here in peace, for peace, and hopefully understanding. The only understanding I'm trying to understand unto myself, and hopefully pass forward is I'm hoping that people don't continue to be harmed. And the only reason why I'm doing this is because, like I said, people are unnaturally tethered to me, 24/7, and the only thing they can seem to do is threaten people's lives, and that's what I'm trying to understand. And like I said, I'll continue to do videos as I can, and with the information that I have, or that I, as the studying I do goes along, I'll make videos, and hopefully, hopefully everybody will be okay. I'm hopeful. So I'm gonna end this video now. Hope everyone's having a good evening, good morning. It's April the 5th, about 4:24 in the morning a.m. So hopefully everybody's doing well. Hopefully everybody remains well and safe. So hopefully you're having a good evening, good morning, getting some sleep and rest. I'll continue as I can. Thank you.